the season's petering out, really. Not, thankfully we're not in a relegation battle, but we're not at the end that we all as Tranmere fans want to see ourselves. So it's always going to be a disappointment when that's the case. Add on the layer of, or the cherry on the cake of, we've dismissed the manager mid-season. That's a sign that things are not going well. That's the biggest sign things aren't going well for any club. So I think there's a lot of sense of anticipation now as to where do we go from here. And that's Mark's decision, really. Mark Palios's decision. No one else can make that for him. He runs the club. It's his club, and as I say, we await him lighting that fire with the white smoke to come out. And it's always a bit exciting, isn't it? A bit of anticipation. Who's it going to be? What change will it be? And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people sitting on their decision around season tickets at the minute as well, just to wait to see, or challenging the club to excite me. Excite me, and I will come, and I'll be there. I think there's a little bit of that going on, particularly when you look at the fairly slow level of season ticket sales up as we've got at this point in time. I mean, it will change as we get near the deadline, no doubt. But getting some clarity on leadership of the squad and team for next season will definitely help.
Well, there's 2 weeks to go until that deadline. I think it's the end of April, isn't it, for season tickets at their cheapest price. Do you think it is important that a new manager is named before that date, or are you happy to sit it out and wait till the summer?
I don't think it's in anybody's interest to delay that decision. If it was me, and it's not, if it's me, I'd want to get that done as early as possible. The challenge is that the best candidate just might not be available at this moment in time until the end of the season. So, it depends on the pool of candidates. None of us will have seen that. We'll have had loads of rumours, as we do, of who may or may not be in the frame. But until we get some information, official information from the club, we're all having a bit of fun playing the guessing game.
Any names that spring out for you?
No, really. There isn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's available, to be honest. Firstly, there's lots of names that get chucked around. Often from the former players' pool, which is always a favourite sort of pond that we tend to go fishing in. But so I don't know. I mean, when you hear people say something like the Cowleys are free, oh, great, but would they be interested? Who knows? Would if they were appointed, would I be think that's great? Well, yeah, they've proven to be able to deliver. But can they deliver at Tranmere? That's the big question. Who knows? Every club's different. Every club's got its own different culture, and you need to fit in with that if you're going to be successful anywhere. So let's see. I don't know. Who would your favourite be, Matt?
Well, there aren't many names, worryingly, that really jump out. That's the problem, isn't there? As you've kind of highlighted. And if you go through that odds list, there are plenty of names there that you go, well, it'd be great, but it'd be completely unrealistic to see that kind of appointment happen at Prenton Park. I think the Cowleys are out of Tranmere's league, quite literally. I mean, their last jobs were managing Portsmouth and Huddersfield in League One and the Championship.
Yeah.
Well, why are they going to come to a club who, by the looks of things, aren't actually going to be aiming for promotion next season? They're going to be doing this development project where they're trying to build a squad that in 2 or 3 years' time is going to win promotion. That's not going to be on the Cowleys' agenda. So I think it's very hard to look at the list of managers on the odds in particular and say they would come to Tranmere. I mean, Liam Richardson is a name that would completely excite me, but I suspect now that the Blackpool job is available, he will have his clause trying to get into that one after the job that he did at Wigan and getting them up from League One to the Championship. So it's very hard. I agree. I've said on here, I've said on record that I think it is important that somewhere in that management team there is someone who is linked to Tranmere, be that as the manager or as the assistant, because I think it just works that way. I've listed all the ex-managers that Tranmere have had over the last since Johnny King, and all of the ones that have had any kind of relative success, whatever you believe that success to be, have had a connection to Tranmere, such as Mickey Mellon, who got them promoted, such as John Aldridge, who got them to a cup final.
Yeah.
Those that don't have a connection to Tranmere are the ones who've crashed and burned. Dave Watson probably should have got Tranmere up with the squad that he had, but they finished mid-table. Brian Little should have got Tranmere up in 2004-05 with the squad that he had at his disposal. You think of the likes of Hume and Taylor coming into that period of their career, and Achterberg and Roberts and Goodison and whoever else, they probably should have gone up that year, but they didn't. So it is, and I don't want to sound like I'm sitting on the fence, but it is incredibly tough. I agree with you, but I do think somewhere there should be a connection to Tranmere.
Well, I think that's the ideal situation for sure. I think if the plan is this sort of development squad approach, then I think there's only certain managers who can work with that. You know, you'd argue that probably wasn't Mickey's strength, and you know that's maybe a big factor why we ended up where we are right now, because that's a very unique and specific approach to developing, you know, your playing talent, and you know, developing the capacity and you know, the ability across the playing squad in the club. And I think you need a manager who's done that before, who's been successful at that before, and I think they're rarer to find. So again, it's let's see what the decision is, but I hope we get one sooner rather than later.